That's right, I stole this idea, this entire concept from myself. See, I asked you what your most unpopular guitar opinions were many years ago. You guys actually had even more entertaining answers in the comments section of that video, so I'm going to go ahead and harvest those for round 2, unpopular guitar opinions. Guitar stores are useless, just go online. Sure, buying gear online is convenient. You can browse 4,000 different overdrive pedals at 2 AM in your underwear while watching rig rundowns. But let's not pretend that guitar stores are useless. You just gonna stop going to see live music because you have Spotify now? Where else can you go to feel the neck of the guitar but a guitar store? Where else can you crank up amps that you would never buy to levels you probably never would in your own home? The guitar store. Maybe you've been to a guitar store and had a lovely interaction with a guitar store employee, as I have many times. I've been to one guitar store in every state in the United States of America, in fact, so I feel qualified to tell you guitar stores matter, and anyone who thinks otherwise is just...
yeah, pretty dumb.
Bass is one of the most important parts of the band. Now look, over the years, I may have poked a little bit of fun at bass players.
What are the longest 4 years of a bass player's life?
2nd grade. I can think of 1 or 2 instances maybe I could have crossed a line. I don't know. Pizza or burgers, right? It's hard to choose between 2 great things. It's kind of like having to choose between saving a bass player from hanging out your window and falling to his doom, or, you know, not doing that. You know, on the one hand, I could save this bass player, but on the other hand, I could... simply go about filming this video. I don't know how it came to this between guitar players and bass players, I just know it's fun to make fun. So if you can't take a joke, then you're probably not gonna like me very much, but I think a lot of people can take jokes, especially bass players, because, you know, they're not that smart, so they don't really realize when they're being berated. I'm just kidding! Bass players, that was a drummer joke. But in all seriousness, the bass is probably the most important part of any rock band. Yes, I would actually agree with that. It's so essential when it's not there in the mix. It's just the glue. What can I say? You must have a foundation. When you're buying a house, the first thing you look at is the foundation. Does that thing have strong joists? That's right, real estate mogul Tyler Larson here to teach you about home ownership and band building. The bass is essential. The bass is everything. The low end commands the rhythm section. In the rhythm section, if you don't have rhythm, you don't have music as far as I'm concerned. So bass is the ultimate rhythmic instrument with a melodic sentiment that I just love and respect endlessly, despite my stupid, pointless jokes that you guys laugh at, okay? I'll stop telling them when you stop laughing. Strapping your guitar very low is just better. It looks badass and you can still play those complex chord changes and stretches. I think that is unpopular. I don't think so. You cannot play something like this. That's gonna be very difficult to play if you're having to stretch your hand further down for a lower. Maybe, are you talking about like a Zakk Wylde approach or a Slash approach where it doesn't really matter where your strap is because you're gonna hold it up like this? Then, in that case, I would totally agree. It doesn't matter where your strap is if you're playing rhythm most of the time. It does look cooler. I don't know, I guess so, it does look cooler. I always play with a high jazz Berkeley student size strap, so that's not gonna change about me. I am who I am, and I don't care about looking badass. I let my licks do the talking. As you can see here, even this strap height, I gotta do this. Look at my wrist. Look at this. That's not good. If I just have it a little higher, that's much easier. I am gonna disagree with your opinion that while it does look more badass, it is not better. Especially as I get higher up this neck. What if I want to play these add 9s all the way up, man? I'm breaking my wrist here, and the strap's not even that low. Whoa, man, you're crazy. That's a crazy unpopular opinion. Whoa. Natural finishes are really ugly. This isn't natural, but this is a natural finish. This is one of the first guitars I was able to buy. Actually, this was the first guitar that I bought after I started making YouTube videos. It was the first like purchase where I invested in myself. I was like, I don't have a Stratocaster, I need one. And this guitar was calling my name. A Texas Special. One of the most beautiful satin natural finishes I think I've ever seen. You can't really find these guitars everywhere. And to say it's ugly, well, that would be disputing years and years of people DMing me trying to buy this exact guitar. They're like, what is that satin Strat? What is that natural finish Strat that you have? Give me that Strat! So while your opinion is valid, I can't make you not have an opinion about natural finishes on guitars, but come on. Come on! If a Strat doesn't have a humbucker in the bridge, it's useless to me. This is actually a good one. I could go either way on this because, of course, I like fat Strats. This is actually a double humbucker Strat style guitar. It's really what you make it. Single coils just make you play differently. That's the whole thing about TONEWOOD. Maybe it's just a placebo effect, but certain types of guitars and components in guitars make you play differently. So I just tried to play as close to the same thing as I could, just back to back, and it still sounded a little different maybe to your ears, and that is the beauty of customizing a guitar. TONEWOOD matters. Or is that a popular opinion? Which is it? Leave a comment. Does TONEWOOD matter, yes or no? We've never had this debate before, but maybe I can shed some light on it that you haven't heard. It's timeless, isn't it? The mahogany people scoffing at the alder people who are just laughing at the faithful swamp ash users. Someone in the back yelling, "It's all in the hands!" as they plug into their Kemper. One camp says that the wood can breathe. Another says that there is no God. Basically, it's all in the electronics and technology, and we've created something out of machinery, and strings and wood matters not. But somewhere, a luthier is rolling his eyes, just really not caring about any of this. At the end of the day, what I've learned about TONEWOOD is that we all think it matters in one way or another. Not at all, definitely somewhere in the middle. But what tends to always happen is we crank up the gain until it's nothing but brown anyway. Does TONEWOOD matter? Looks cool. Every flying V I see in a video sounds kinda bad. Well, allow me to fill the gaps in your knowledge base. Digital doesn't sound as good as the real thing. In person? Maybe that's true. Through your phone speaker? Yeah, it does. When changing strings, do them one at a time so as not to release the tension on the neck. The pros and cons for changing your strings one at a time versus all, the comment is correct that depending on the bridge situation you have, this is actually locked, but some people have tremolos or Floyd Roses, God forbid, which is a floating bridge, and in that case, the bridge can float out if you don't have any tension on it. That's why I like to block the bridge. Hold on, let me get my Floyd Rose. I actually have a YouTube video I made way back in the day called The Ultimate Floyd Rose Maintenance Guide or something like that. You can go find it, but basically when you're changing the strings, you want to put something underneath this bridge to lock it in place, so that way when the strings do start coming off, this is going to float back this way, unless you have something to block that bridge from going down that way. AKA like a piece of cardboard or foam or anything works. Again, check out my string changing guide for Floyd Rose and the maintenance setup. It's probably like a 7-year-old video, but it still holds true. You don't have to change one string at a time, especially if you want to clean your disgusting fretboard. What are you talking about, change one string at a time? What? Huh? Your neck isn't gonna automatically warp because there's no strings on it, unless you're leaving your strings off for months at a time. Take off all your strings at once, change them, clean your despicable guitar, you savage. Guitar solos are irrelevant to a non-musician audience. That opinion hurts my feelings too, and I don't think it's true. I think that the guitar is the most popular instrument in the world for the reason that the epic guitar hero on stage playing a solo, that's never going away. Maybe it like went out of vogue for a few years there when everybody was panicking saying the guitar was dead. Little did they know that people like me were understanding that the guitar industry is thriving and growing in ways that we can't predict. And the guitar solo has not gone anywhere. In fact, it's more prominent and perfect than it's ever been because it's appreciated. It's not thrown around at every waking moment. Every dude who gets a pentatonic idea just gonna throw down a 2-minute guitar solo. Gone are those days. And you know what? good. They can't get any better. We can't do it better than the classic rockers of our past, but we can continue to innovate and use the guitar in brand new ways. Maybe Matteo Mancuso is that one to usher us into the new age. Maybe somebody like Jack Gardner or Corey Wong, Mark Lettieri. These people are really forward thinkers when it comes to guitar playing with traditional senses of what makes guitar great. So I think we're in good shape for the next generation. I could name 1,000 other names, but the guitar solo, unpopular to non-musicians? No. I like Telecasters and the way they play, but I think they're ugly. Hold on, let me get one. It's right behind me. Ugh. This is actually a cooler looking Telecaster because the body's a little bit different. It's contoured and stuff, but yeah, sometimes Telecasters look like they were cut out of a piece of wood with a butter knife, slapped on a neck, and called it a day. But as you alluded to in that unpopular opinion, this slab of wood contains some of the most legendary guitar tones you can access. It's the guitar equivalent of a plain donut. A perfectly warm, glazed, Krispy Kreme donut. I mean, don't you just want that in your life? I do. I'm gonna keep it. Slash is so overrated. Said no one ever. Actually, I think that is kind of an unpopular, popular opinion. I won't even justify it with a response. You fools. Slash overrated? What are we gonna say next? Mac and cheese isn't good? Pizza sucks? My Strat is the best Strat. It's better than your Strat. I should write a book on Strats. Oh yeah? How about this one? Or 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 this one? What about these? Maybe I should write my own book on Strats, huh? You ever think about that? How's that for an unpopular opinion? Alright. That's enough. Thanks for watching. Unpopular Opinions Part 2. Hope you enjoyed. Leave your other unpopular opinions in the comments. See you later.